Pets. So many stray dogs.
That cat someone dropped off.
This black kitty. But it's not Una. Yes, it has a tail. Yeah, friends, I walk these roads every day calling out for my cat and encounter numerous other cats and dogs, clearly, because we just don't have a place for them, even though we have boarded up houses. I mean, this is the ghetto. Who would look for a cat? Who would live here? Who would even want to live here? Hey Doomers, October 19th, I'm back again in the spot, gonna vlog, just talk, so if you're not into hearing about news, information, my life, and just general information, then click away. I'm not offended. But if you are here, for all my subscribers, men and women, I know my percentage of women who watch my content is now up to 19%, which is, it ebbs and waves. Not that it has any sort of validation, it just, is a different perspective, certainly an appreciative one, although the genders are certainly the same in many regards. I don't want to even get into that argument. But we are quite polarized right now. So, on first manner of business, I've made flyers for Una. I'm doing everything I can, walking every night with lights. I see dozens of cat eyes, and I've made flyers, and, I can go rub shirts on the ghetto road, next to the trash. The suggestions I get from these lost and found pet forums is just try to live over here where I'm at and try some of that stuff, And that sigh, this sigh, is just exasperation. It isn't me planning to do anything mischievous. It's more like, sigh, I want new shoes to find my cat and buy a shotgun so I can prepare for complete annihilation and civilizational collapse to maybe hunt a bird or two or something. I don't really know at this point. Where would you go? Anyways, something I forgot to mention in my monologue yesterday, which was clearly sarcastic. Some people really misunderstand me on this channel. They're not paying attention, or they have so much psychosis they don't get it. But people think that I support January 6th insurrections. No, I was comparing what's happening now to why people are enraged and why that could potentially unfold with the inequality, dystopian nature that we're in. People are getting fed up, and comes a breaking point. 73% of my generation lives paycheck to paycheck. It's essentially the fucking Great Depression. Dude, whatever. I'm a warrior. I'm not gonna live a lie. And so I don't. These are just little squabbles. The world is inflamed right now, and I forgot to mention that about aliens and Zelda this year and the spy balloons and all the other just crap that went on this year. It's a big parody of itself, it feels like at this point. So let me, recap is doing everything to find my cat. I'm not sure if that's even possible. I left out some things yesterday. I did get a job, onto the next subject, I did get offered a job at the pet adoption facility, which is a non-profit, which screams low wages, understandably. $12 an hour. At this day and age, to make that kind of money is wage slavery and essentially selling your body. It's no different than slavery, except you get to choose when you go to the bathroom and what you wear. And you don't get whipped. But essentially it's the same thing. And I would go in 8 to 3 and feed and walk dogs in the morning for 4 hours, and then deal with people and adoptions for the next 3. And it's just is it worth it? I have another interview today on the phone. I mean, the job opportunities, what's available, is all of the good jobs are taken, clearly, by people who have seniority and notoriety. have been in the field for, like an example, I wanted to be a National Geographic photographer so bad growing up. And like when you start getting into the field, you start understanding like, oh, these jobs are occupied by people who've been doing this for decades, boomers, and Gen Xers that have got like so much experience, you can't even touch it, And so that's an obviously much more grand example, but across the field, people who have been in experience, like how are you supposed to get, that experience when you can't even do it? Bringing it back, this job, $12 an hour, take care of pets, barking and cleaning cages and stuff, and it's like, do I want to do that? I have to do some like thinking about it, and then I have this other interview I work 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. delivering small packages. They provide the van and gas and money and phone and all that stuff, but like I don't even know what we're delivering to residential, but it's like you have a set route and you make $600 to $800 a week, paid weekly, 1099 contract. I'm afraid I might have to take that one because it's more consistent and I need consistency right now. Like if guys can show you just how bad the fucking economy is like beyond imagination. It is the Great Depression for definitely my generation. I get it if you have kids, you get like $8,000 or whatever, but like to go to show you like what I'm dealing with for the past year and why so many businesses have folded is this offer. This is actually a somewhat better bad offer, but like go to McDonald's, drive 4 miles for $6. Constantly, $5, $6, $5. Like this is our neighbors. This is who we're living with. Is absolutely downtrodden, poor, destitute, tip shit, no recognition, crap. I reject probably 50 or 60 orders a day like this. People literally at home, like that's how disconnected we are. Think like, oh, just tip like $2 so you can drive, 8 miles to me. That's fine. Someone will do that. Like some poor sap. If they even take this fucking offer, that's the kind of shit I deal with. And that's why I'm like, I need something consistent because this has gone downhill. It's worked for years. Did food delivery. I've done over 15,000 deliveries. Yeah, I started in Dallas. Like you take the fact that our generation is living paycheck to paycheck, then you add on the fact that inflation's like really 20%, that the poverty rate here is like greater than 20%, is a special form of a nightmare. It's a fucking hell, I'd rather almost live in Uganda, or like, I know there's the river dried up, an Amazonian capital, like, we're one tier above that shit. It's horrible. I understand why some younger people, I was talking crap about mental health, like have a panic attack. It's like, I fully understand, I live with a low-grade panic attack often in terms of money, and so does my whole generation, 30 to 42 years old or so. It's like, at any moment you feel like the bottom, it's horrible, dude. It's a fucking horrible way to live, and yet I leave one piece of shit boomer and come into another situation with a boomer. I just got chewed out by this fucking old piece, this narcissistic, they just need to go. They just need to fucking go. Like, I respect Amy Goodman. Like, there's just and maybe Sam, Paul Beckwith, like there's like just my friends, some of my friends on this in this community, very select few, but like the overall cultural vibe of boomers is fucking horrendous, and they're all holed up in their houses. Like you should drive around neighborhoods as I do all day and just see quiet neighborhoods, no kids, just boomers. You can know it, holed up in their houses. Of why wouldn't they? And there's no hope of convincing them how fucking awful it is right now. By the way, I did have my physical today. I'll get into that in a moment about my cholesterol and all that as a 34-year-old. But this one just chews me out, and it's like, I need to get in the kitchen. I was literally in the kitchen for 10 minutes cooking, starting to cook, come home from the day, and it's like, well, how long are you going to be in here? That's a lie. You're right. I should ask, like, I should fucking share. You're right. I shouldn't get mad. Like, that had to actually be put across to this. Like, he's going back and forth with me to the point where, like, I'm at the point where, like, God damn it, to my old jackass piece of shit roommate and this guy, it's like, you are so fortunate that law and order still exists right now. It's horrific. I don't want to go down into rage. Be cool, manipulate, talk back, show attitude. Me. It's the boomer narcissistic way, dude. It is the way that they only know how. And it's disgusting and downright unacceptable. Okay. Going into, the climate, we've reached new records on sea surface anomalies and temperature. You can go through all this data, like I'm telling you now in real time, but of course we're going to review it later and be like, oh yeah, there was a time, it was rising and no one was paying attention. But at least we said something, we were talking about it. So, again, I got a job offer, got another one, everything is broken. When everything's meant to be, I don't want to go down that. Don't want to do that. We're not going to have a house speaker. My physical went well. The only thing is, like, my good cholesterol is a little bit low. I need to eat more well-balanced meals. But that costs all your money. Like, we're spending all of our money, like, to eat healthy. It's so much easier to go get shit food. I don't do that. I try to cook, but then I get chewed out from my boomer roommate, who I don't like. This is the second time he's done that. It's like, woe is me. No. I'm just painting the picture to you that you don't want to be old. You don't want to be young. It just sucks. And I know one of my subscribers, you know who you are. You go to a crappy Amazon job, and you hear the whirring noises of capitalism. I came across this girl, Jenna, the other day. I don't know if you're still subscribed. It's like, all I do is work and just money, focus on that. And I'm like, this is our last decade. Bring you back down to earth. It's like, oh, there's another cat. Oh, I want to pick your brain about climate. Well, it's front page news. What do you need to pick my brain about? It's right front and center. The Pope is literally saying we're at the point of no return. We have emergency signals everywhere. You can look at all the data. It's available free public access. It's like, just be not a dumbass. Not that it matters. Carbon capture, all this crap. It doesn't matter. All right, so I want to end this rant up with how I feel about other channels and what I comment. Amy Goodman, Democracy Now! Welcome to Democracy Now! I'm Amy Goodman. This is Democracy Now! War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. That was a bad thing, but that cadence. On every single video I write, welcome to Insane World. Because that's what it is. Literally insane. In the membrane. And on every single Collapse Chronicle video, I try to spam him with meat sauce. I just write meat sauce in the comment. I skim through some of them. I know what he's doing. He just sits. Well, guys, I love him. It's like a cult. Whatever. Okay, I'm another flavor of doomer. Nature Bats Last has shifted away a little bit from his butt hurt mode, which is good, comforting, and Paul's videos are just like straight doomer, like syringe to the neck. It's like our collapsing, unraveling civilization. 11 reasons why we're collapsing. It's probably next one's going to be like we're all going to die. That would be fitting, but no. You guys can clearly relate to my dismay. Another guy wrote to me like, "Oh, I'm 57, never had savings." Well, you fucked up because you had the best economy. How could you not? You can go out and get a job anywhere. You don't have to work contract work at 12 hours a day. Like, what were you doing? Fucking off that bad? You could have bought land? There's no excuse. Alright, so my content's been very inflammatory and heated lately. Like I said, I've gotten off pot, haven't smoked or drank in over a week. And I think I lost my cat. I'm doing everything possible to get her back, even though I don't think she'd be even happy in the household that I'm at. And how I could transport her to the next place and find it even a next place after that. I am looking at intentional communities. I found a great one in Vermont with some seemingly decent boomers. because that's all who can afford, land and even to remotely live right now. Because I still have to like eat, I still have to survive, and like calories, you know. Yeah. What can I say? I tell you guys to watch just let the video play I had to actually remind you to hit upvote. This isn't a popularity contest, So many stray animals. I wish I could take them all in. One foot in front of the other. I think I'll have to take this job because it's consistent. And work 8 to 3, 6 days a week and make $600 to $800 a week. I factored it out after all my expenses. If I make $500 a week, then I'll have like, $3 or $4 grand left over by the time I leave here. But if I make $600 a week, then I'll have like 600 grand. $6 grand before I leave here to New York, which I'm beyond thrilled about. And that's what I'm aiming for. $600, $6 grand, leave here. That's good to last me a few months. I can make it stretch totally. Eat eggs and quinoa, I've already got the video laid out in my head 6 months from now. It's like serenity or inner peace or something, and just footage of just beautiful forest and nature. And yet, taking a look back at the insanity. Before I get to that point, which I'm looking forward to, is like Robert De Niro at 80 years old has another fucking child. So same with Margot Robbie. Like people of this celebrity status, completely enclosed in their own bubble. Yeah, you have every reason to be upset and think that the system should be overthrown because it's not working, and we are clearly deluded on every single level. Mass psychosis. Yeah, doc. And she's like, how are you doing today? Could you have an antidote for mass psychosis or something? Like, how do you think it's going? And she's like, yeah, I have family in India. I know I should I pay attention to this. Yeah, you should. They're all going to be fucking dying from heat waves and monsoons and floods and fires by the end of this decade. Yes, doc. I'm just here for a medication to help me sleep, which I can get over the counter at any other country, trazodone. Or walk into a clinic and be like, hey, I'm. Yeah. So I'm not on antidepressants. I don't smoke, don't drink. I'm continuing to report this. Some people are like bored with climate. Whatever. Talk about aliens, talk about this. It's like, someone still, there's just the underwriting narrative that we persist to have, is downright silly. So I'm going to try to get a Y membership. Eager to pay, anyone back who's supported me. You know who you are. Work my ass off, save money. Doing it alone is just like, that's why some of you just live at home, right, with your parents. Yeah, I've been living out here on my own since I was 18, and that's, yeah. I think this is an entirely other video, which I should go into, maybe a sneak peek, but it's like, why were my parents so dismissive of me as I got into my teens? Like, just get out the house and we're done with you, and go on and do your own thing. It's because I was an afterthought. I was just there to be a sibling for my brother. And so all this calamity and me making an issue about things and being overwhelming and just, I'm a bit much, man, like Jordan Peterson said. I'm a bit much, man, because I'm in every direction at once, to Piers Morgan or whatever. It's like, well, maybe, yeah, I think I was just double cursed. Yeah, I could have been working in a nail salon. You could always make that argument. I could be in a poor country, but it's like, wait a minute. I had parents that just made me for an afterthought, born into this shit economy with no future. How do you... And I know some of you are like, how do you had your own circumstances, your parents were poor or whatever. It's like, I'm just here for a good time, not a long time, I guess. Because being alive is better than being dead at this point. And... it's just enough enjoyable, despite losing my cat, dealing with shitty boomer roommates, obscene rents, the atrocities in the world, the contempt and lying, and there are good people out there. Yeah, they're in intimate relationships. That's why people get into intimate relationships or go to church. It's a sense of community, and you can't question their belief because it would go against facts. It's what they have figured out in their head. You figure it out. All this shit I'm starting to figure out in my 30s. as you should. You know who you are and stuff, like, more. Your 20s. I definitely made some mistakes, and believe me, I wish I could go back and tell some women and men some stupid shit I said and did. Definitely. That was last decade. I should forgive you. You should forgive yourself. But, yeah, it's a shitty, fucked up world. And people are stuck in the system, and, you know, it's the little things. It's just the little things that bring you joy. Try to find some joy. Okay, all out there. I'm all out there. I'm with you guys. You know, for many years I was like, why me? Why did I get cursed with this? But at some point you just embrace the hell. You know, I enjoy like strenuous exercise. Like people complain about like Jocko, like, man, it sucks jumping out of a plane and like doing military stuff. That sounds fun compared to this shit. You know, sign me up, right? I'll go do 100 push-ups like Navy SEALs. I can do the fitness. I can do the special forces. I'm not bragging. Fitness tests. I'll push up in cold water and pull logs and shit. It's better than being discredited, walked over, shit wages, not knowing where your fucking next paycheck, you know, meal's coming from, having the bottom drop out from you, having boomers walk around you just completely brain dead. I just walk by them like, get out of my fucking way, boomer. You know, there's no respect for them. Because if they really gave a shit, they would be doing everything in their power to stopping the climate or biodiversity crisis, but they're not. They're entrenched in the system. It's like a lose-lose game. You can't convince them. You can't win. You're fucked. Deal with it. Hindsight's 2020, you know? Hindsight's 2020. Alright, this has been a all expose vlog. If you kept on this long, you're my friend. You're my doomer realist friend. It's everyone else who's mentally ill. Okay, guys and gals. You've heard everything. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.